Alright, so this is day one of OTSE, work in progress. Just wanted to cover a little bit what I've done here. So first of all, I have decided to go after creating a game from my past, and that game is being Pokemon. And so we'll be looking at trying to recreate one of the classic Pokemon games like red, blue, green, something like that. Very, very simple. Don't want to go too complex with it, but we'll see what we can get. So far, I spent today kind of creating out that base, the solid ground for me to build upon it going forward. So my main priority today was working on certain base classes, such as the Pokemon data class, which allows me to create any other type of Pokemon I want. I then have a class or a class file that's just holding a bunch of different classes for each Pokemon. In this case, I have Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur all set up. On top of being able to create these Pokemons, I'm covering more detail on them, such as their gender, their level experience, Pokemon type, name, which can also be used for nicknaming in the future, as well as an entity class to handle its current health and current stat adjustment states for moves that maybe increase their attack or increase their speed or decrease. So we'll be playing around with stuff there, adjusting stats. The stat system itself being the base stats of the Pokemon, which we'll work with. This stat system here can kind of be, well, all of this can kind of be randomly generated within a certain set of parameters when we're doing our encounters, so we can get different variations of Pokemon. We'll also want to include in the future an IV or EV system in here that we can use to adjust these stats, which will probably go into the entity itself, not the base stats. It would go in the base stats. And then we have the move data itself, which currently doesn't do anything. I've done the same thing where I've set up the move data class, which allows me to use their name, the attack type, as well as specify an effect to occur for when it happens. Right now, none of the moves really do anything, but I just took the first four moves that each of these, well, not the first four, but like one of the first fours that I remember that each of these Pokemon will use. So you have like moves like Tackle, Water Gun for Squirtle, Tail Whip, Bite, which I believe is the next attacking move that Squirtle learns, which is also a different typing. Then we have Scratch, Growl, Ember for Charizard, Dragon Breath for Charizard, Vine Whip, and Leech Seed for Bulbasaur. So yeah, all that's being set up. I also took the liberty of creating a very simple player and player controller script. So the player script itself is going to hold information on the Pokemon party, as well as this is where I'll be able to kind of add Pokemon to the party and attempt to catch them in a battle, as well as determine whether if I catch a Pokemon, will it go into my party or will I send it to like a storage PC. The player controller is very, very simple. It's a 2D controller that allows me to just move around. Nothing special there. Stat system is encompassing the core stats of Pokemon: health, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. Then Pokemon typing, currently I have normal, fire, water, grass, dark, and dragon. Primarily I'm using it for specifying the types of the Pokemon as well as the types of the attacks. As I add more into this, I will expand on this and add the other typings. And then the other half of what I've done today is I have created a UI. So I have created a menu here, which when you press escape will pop up. You can scroll through here and then open them. And then I've created separate panels for every single one of these menus. So I can build on it, I can work on it as I start accessing these features that I want to make. So I can go, and currently I have the bag, nothing is implemented, so we just get screens like that. We'll get that same screen for everything except for the Pokemon screen, where it will show us that at the very beginning I am, air quotes, catching a Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur at the start of the game. When this gets built upon further, you'll probably start with no Pokemon, and you'll be given the option the same way that Professor Oak offers you, like choose which one you want, blah blah blah. And then you'll go ahead and you'll choose your Pokemon that way, and then you'll be able to access this screen and see what Pokemon you got, as well as their information, their health, their gender, their levels, their nicknames, maybe set their nicknames. But yeah, so that's about all I've got going on right now. You may have also noticed down here in the console, I have a dictation result, so I've also imported my voice recognition package, and it is working. So I can pick up anything that I'm saying, and all I have to do going forward when I decide that we're at the right point is to add certain commands as well as the functions associated with those commands into a list for the dictation reader to translate into game events, and we'll be good. We'll be set to play this game with our voice. And that'll depend as well how much we want the game to be voice controlled. I'm thinking I won't go full out like you have to say up, down, left, right to move your character. That might just get a little bit too strain your voice too much. Instead, we'll probably just focus on using your voice for battling. And we'll do something, maybe our twist will be, instead of turn-based battling, we'll do like a time-based battling. And each ability, or each move will have a cooldown, and the only way to win the fight, of course, is you got to shout out your commands, your attacks to go ahead. And with some being on lower cooldown, the more you say it, the faster it goes out, as well as the less you say. If you are silenced for whatever reason, maybe that can be a move that the like a custom move where they can silence you for a minute and then prevent you from giving commands, and your Pokemon's left there wondering like, oh, I don't know what to do. So there's that, and I think that'll be a pretty interesting little twist, as well as a take on our Pokemon genre. But that concludes my first day's work at this, and there's quite a few more of these to come following. So stay tuned.